Hey, Justin, you know, a lot of times in life, we just try to get by without actually learning how things work.
Oh yeah, for sure. I do it all the time.
Yeah, like what's an example of you doing?
Like when I go to like a Thai food restaurant and I just point at the menu.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna try to learn what's in it or how to pronounce it. So I just like I'll take that. You know, that's fine.
I'll do you one further.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to read.
Really?
Gotten this far.
I've known you over 10 years, and I did not know you.
Big reveal. Can't read.
Wow.
Doesn't matter. But today we're talking about reverb.
Yes, we are, Sean. We're very proud of you.
And it's finally time to learn how these settings work. For the longest time I didn't know how reverb worked. I just turned it on and it's like, oh, that sounds better.
That's right, yeah.
But we're going to use the Strymon Big Sky, which is kind of universally understood to be the greatest reverb invention in the history of all reverb.
That's right.
So we're going to go through these settings. Justin's going to educate me how these work. And maybe I'll learn a few new words along the way.
Yeah. And
so what's reverb, Justin? I don't know.
So, you know, to me, reverb is just an effect that gives your sound the illusion that you're playing in a room or a space larger than you're actually playing.
Which is a pleasant sound.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, it backs right into delay as far as, you know.
They are kind of synonymous almost in certain. Now, here's just a clean, unreverberated sound. Ugh.
Right. So we're just going to use the room setting that they have because it's pretty easy to hear the difference. And so, you know, if we activate the pedal, so you hear how that sound.
A little bit of a tail.
That's right. Yeah, it's got a little tail. It's like your sound is a comet, and the reverb is just.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, already it's better.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And for the longest time, I just hit that button and be like, sounds better. Gonna roll with it.
Sure. And so, you know, one of the first things that we should go over is what the mix is. It's pretty straightforward. You know, the higher the mix, the less dry signal. So this is only the reverb.
Only the reverb. You can tell it's almost a little bit delayed.
That's right.
Right? None of my original signal is present.
Right. And if we turn the mix all the way down, it's only there.
Almost like I'm just going straight through it.
Most pedals between 12 o'clock on a clock and 3, that's when you're going to get a 50-50 blend. So we'll put it at like 1 o'clock. And then we have a good mix of the wet signal and the dry signal.
Also, a great way to do this is just hitting like a boom, something like a transient peak, so you can kind of hear what's happening afterwards. Because if you're just playing, it's kind of hard to hear where the reverb is taking over and your signal is kind of doing its thing.
That's true.
And all this, by the way, is applicable to like plugins and stuff. If you're like recording like a DAW or anything like that, so it's not just a guitar pedal thing. It's
for sure.
Thing.
Or even if like your synthesizer has built-in reverb, some of them have that. It's all the same stuff. So the next parameter that's really important would be decay. Right? So decay is, for the intents of the effect, it's the length of how long that reverb is going to stick around, basically. Cool. But in concept, it would be like the larger space that you're in, the larger decay, right? If you're in a huge cathedral, you may have like seconds of decay.
Sure, those sound waves are going to bounce back and then come back and hit you.
Right. And then, of course, in a room like Sean's, which is sound treated and deadened, the decay would be very small to non-existent, right? So when we turn the decay up all the way,
can keep going. Infinite.
That's right.
Decay. A lot of pedals can do that.
That's true. And you also have to be careful because some effects with the reverb, depending, especially if there's modulation present, it can start to self-oscillate.
Yep.
So be prepared to...
a lot of feedback. And so, especially if you're like... Because again, when I play the next chord, the sound from the first chords aren't going away yet. Right. So it just kind of creates like a mix of it. Right, and it's kind of jumbled. So if we turn it to just a touch, just a little skosh. So now it sounds like, oh, he might be in like a bathroom, you know? But like a nice bathroom.
A super nice bathroom.
With like an attendant.
Oh yeah.
That has candies for, He's like, don't worry about tipping me. We're gonna go on a little rant about tipping bathroom attendants, where you're in a restaurant where you don't know there's a bathroom attendant.
That's right.
Yep, I've read your mind right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't worry about tipping me, because in this fantasy bathroom with Big Sky Reverb, he's paid a living wage.
He is.
They don't need to tip.
He's a good man, too.
So, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
3 kids.
Yeah, and he builds his own pedals on the side.
He does.
You know, if anything, just go like his Instagram or something.
We're proud of him.
That's all.
So with these 2 parameters, I'm going to show you something that I personally like to do. So a lot of people, when they want a little bit of reverb, what do? They turn the decay way down and then the mix up, right? Objectively speaking, that is a little bit of reverb.
Sure.
But why not try it the opposite? Why not have very low in the mix, just a whole bunch of reverb?
I feel like I have a thicker, lusher sounding guitar signal now.
And it's just, and you can barely even tell the reverb is there, and it's this little blanket. And even if we turn up to maybe 11 o'clock here, give a little bit more in the mix. That's how I like to use reverb. You know, a lot on the decay, low in the mix.
Used responsibly.
Right. And so you notice the difference is when we had a lot of decay and your mix was high, it was cluttering as you played your next note, you know? Because we have it low in the mix, it's not really, we're not going to run into those issues.
I like it.
So now that we covered that, we can go back to noon for the decay and the mix, right? And we're going to talk about pre-delay.
What's pre-delay?
What is pre-delay?
I almost thought maybe this is a way to see into the future.
Yeah.
Like, how does this pedal know what I'm going to play before I play it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's actually not what
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
No.
And we talked about, your conspiracy theories about Big Sky watching you, we talked about this.
Separate video.
So, all pre-delay does is it sets a timer. I believe the Big Sky is from 0 to 1.5 seconds before the decay actually kicks in. So, what that means is, right now it's 0. So when Sean plays...
As soon as you hear me play it, the reverb is...
There it is.
Doing its thing.
But if you were trying to truly create a space, you might want it to take a little bit. Right?
So you hear the clean signal dry, and then you hear the reverb after that.
Yeah.
Maybe do it all the way just
I was going to say, let's do it dramatically just so that you can
I'll play a chord, and then you hear the reverb after the fact.
Right.
Now that's almost essentially like a delay pedal with a reverb on it.
Exactly, right. That would be like having a delay pedal with just your wet reverb signal, right? So a way that you can use this, again, is to have a little bit of pre-delay, a good amount of decay, and a little bit low in the mix. And that's so good.
There you go. So you get the attack of the dry signal first, and then it stays out of the way of the chord and kind of blooms, I guess, a little bit more.
I could not have said it better.
Oh, man,
and see, that's what the benefit of the pre-delay is. I used to not use it because I was like, why would I want I have a delay pedal, I don't need this. But now it's kind of like, I understand that when you have a lot of reverb, especially when you start mixing music and it's like, oh man, my chords are being cluttered. You can't really hear, especially if you're intricately finger picking like you are known to do.
That's what I am known for.
Right? So,
and like I said, especially in a mix, in a session, where you'll have reverb on vocals, because all this stuff is applicable to anything. You don't want different reverbs cluttering different sounds, and then you get just kind of like a muddy mix.
Oh, for sure.
Which is something I was super guilty of when I first started.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, I know this is a conversation about the Big Sky, but that's why I really like busing things to certain reverbs, right? Like all my guitar tracks, bus it to one bus, and that's the reverb they're all going to have. Kind of makes it feel like they're in the same space.
Perfect.
Anyways, so we're going to go over tone next, and not all reverbs have a tone knob, and if yours doesn't, it should, because it's really beneficial. And Sean actually has a lot of reasons why this is.
It's something that you want to look for in a reverb pedal or in a plugin, and something that's kind of easy. That's why I like the new Logic Chromaverb plugin, because it's like a really great example of what's happening. So tone is essentially, the reverb is only affecting a certain frequency of the signal. And a lot of times you can think of it like a guitar tone knob, but what's actually happening is it's only applying reverb to like let's say it's like a high pass or something. It's only letting a certain part of the signal have the reverb on it, which is very important when you're carving out a space for something.
Absolutely.
Because specifically with the low end of instruments, like you don't often hear like a lot of reverb on like a bass guitar or something like that, just because it gets out of control, you know? So So I think that tone knob is probably the most underrated of all reverb features.
Yeah, certainly.
I guess I would go so far as to say.
I think I would agree with you. And so for this purpose, it may not be very musical, but we're going to turn the mix all the way up so that people can really hear what the tone knob is doing.
Cool.
So the mix is all the way up, and the tone knob is in here.
Okay. I'm purposely playing like a root note and a chord, like a lower note and a chord. Great example, Justin. Huh? Look at this guy working these knobs, man. Yeah. My guy.
So, you know, one thing that I hear automatically is, and this is just, you know, all the way at the low end, it reminds me of something like Other Lives, right? Dark, indie. All the way on the far end, it reminds me of like Black Angels or like surfy, springy reverb, right?
Yep.
Bright.
Exactly.
You know? So we have like these two different things, and you know, like Sean was saying also, when you consider a mix, you know, what space is this particular instrument trying to occupy, and maybe we can make the reverb match that.
Exactly.
Right? Because especially if you're going to put a high pass filter on something anyways, you're going to take those frequencies away.
Yeah.
So so the last thing, and this is not on all reverbs, but you know, Strymon has the modulation that you can put on your reverb. I'm also going to leave the mix all the way up because it's easier to hear. This is pretty much 0 to 100%, right? Like either there's no modulation or there's full modulation.
What do you mean when you say modulation?
So it depends. So I have a reverb pedal that adds chorus modulation, right? There's some that add it's usually very similar to like a delay pedal that has modulation. So it'll be like a square or a sine wave chorusy type of warble modulation. You know?
Yeah. I like the ARP 87 by Walrus.
Oh yeah.
Because this modulation has a detuning on the delays, which is really cool. So again, modulation can mean different things in different settings.
Yeah, absolutely. But for this one, I'm 90% sure it's just going to be some warbly chorusy. So as we So now we effectively have a chorus pedal.
Yeah. You kind of hear at the end of this, it's a little bit of action.
Yeah.
Just kind of on the end of it.
Yeah, and so now if I were to build my perfect room reverb on Strymon,
okay.
You know,
how would you do it, Justin?
You know, I would have the pre-delay right where it's at. I'd have the decay where it's at. I would turn my mix to maybe 11 o'clock. I would turn my modulation to about 1 o'clock, and I would turn my tone down to like 9 o'clock. And this would be my reverb.
Oh.
And this is personal preference. For
Let's
me,
hear it. Turn it off now.
it's personal preference, you know, but for me, what I look for in a reverb, which is why I love my Black Lodge, is what I use it for, is a blanket. Just
totally.
If this pedal was off, you would hear it in an instant. But when it's on, you can almost barely hear what it's doing.
And again, that's up to you guys. Do you want it to be just a subtle enhancement of your tone, of your signal, or do you want to use it as like a wild effect?
That's right.
You can do both.
Yeah.
But it's good to, you have to kind of understand how the knobs actually work, what the parameters mean to really get that out of it.
But then, and just real quickly, like if you were going to use a pick and do like the, you know, the Tycho style kind of harmonic, you know, you would want it to be brighter with more decay and maybe even more modulation. You know, sounds a little bit better. Maybe even more mix. So, you know,
especially with like kind of muted playing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that right there. Yeah, because you can that pick attack. really comes through with the tone turned up, you know? Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's different because of the transients and just the way you're playing.
Right.
So, you know, the way you play does affect how the reverb is going to react.
Yeah.
So, all things to think about.
The best part about this pedal is that we've only gone over just one setting and not even any of the parameters, right?
No.
Like, this
thing
versatile.
is a beast of a pedal.
How many videos do you think we're going to end up doing using this pedal, you know?
However many that people require.
That's right, however many they need. Yeah.
Reverb, it's the best of it. It's the must-have. It's kind of like the one must-have.
Yeah.
If I could only have one effect, it's got to be, whether it's just, you know, the one built into your amp, you know, it doesn't have to be like a big crazy reverb pedal.
Right.
Anything is just a subtle enhancement that's going to improve your guitar playing and tone.
Yeah.
Always.
And make you sound a little bit better than you are.
Now it's on to some of that book learning so I can learn how to read the manual.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks for stopping by, Justin.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime.
Okay.
Any questions or comments for this guy?
Oh, yeah.
In the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, the website.